Hi Fusers, I thought I was recording and then it turns out that I wasn't. So we're gonna go this round too. So you can see I already have two knobs here. These are the big ones for like furniture because these are going to a client who ordered them via furniture. So I'm gonna show you how these guys originally come out of this. This is LF55. Yeah, LF55. So I made a barrel wrapped around a nichrome wire of papyrus paper, 10 inches long by 1/2 inch wide. And that information is in the knob tutorial that Stephanie and Kelly have on the website. And so it comes out of the mold like this. Oh, that time my little papyrus barrel came off, but you need to wash that out and clean it out really well. Do it in water so that you don't get that dust everywhere. Wear your mask. And then you're left with this hole. And this one is not particularly clean, and sometimes the hole will have some ick still in it, or it might have, sometimes I have a frit burr that won't allow the hardware to go in well. And so what I do in that case is I just take a Dremel tool and I use it in there to clean it out a little bit. And then I usually, because I'm wearing a mask, I usually use canned air to blow all the junk out of there. I don't have any currently, I'm out, so I'm gonna use some Windex today and Q-tip to get in there to clean it out and make sure everything is really clean and dry before I try to do the adhesive. So I came up with this jig system when I was making a bunch of handles and knobs for my own kitchen, and have subsequently used it for 2 or 3 clients, folks who have ordered sets from me for different circumstances. These ones are going to North Carolina to some dear friends who are also wonderful art patrons and decided they wanted cool art to go on their furniture. So this particular jig I made just out of foam core. I can't lift it up and show you because I've got these ones that are setting up, but it's just on foam core. And I just took the screws that go in there and poked them through holes and let them go. And the background might get a little bit noisy because my son's about to have some people come over. So pardon the teenage noise in the background. I'm trying to wrap this up really fast. So here in the nutshell is how I do this. You have 2 options. You can just put adhesive on this little brass barrel and then stick it in there. But I'm not always 100% good at getting the depth exactly correct. So I've found if I use this jig and I put the barrel on one of these screws sticking straight up into the air, and then I put adhesive on here, and then I put this here, it doesn't really matter if the barrel is recessed a little bit extra because the adhesive kind of drips out and it doesn't get into the threads of the screw that I'm going to be using to attach it to the drawer. So I did have to go buy extra screws at the hardware store so that I would have extras so that I could keep this jig and not have to recreate it every time. So I have also found my favorite adhesive for this particular application is this Loctite epoxy, clear epoxy 5 minutes. I tried several different ones. I tried E6000, I tried the Gorilla epoxy, I tried a couple of others, and I think the Ace maybe brand, and I just have found that over time this one stands up the best. And so I'll show you what I do, and then I'll talk about what happens tomorrow, and I'll probably pop on and do a quick show you video of how I do that. So this epoxy dispenses the exact correct amount from each side. It's 2-part epoxy. hopefully if you're working with glass and you're gluing anything to your glass, you understand this product. And then I just put it out on some scrap cardboard. We have tons of that around. I cut up little pallets of it out of, you know, the millions of pieces of cardboard I get in between pieces of glass shipped to me. Then you have to just make sure that you thoroughly, really mix this together. And I usually try and spend about 10 to 20 seconds really making sure that it is adequately and fully incorporated, both parts. And then I just take a glop of it and I put it on the top of the brass barrel that gets nested into the knob. And I just sort of let it bead up there. And now gravity is going to be my friend and sort of carry it down the sides, and that's fine. And then I just sit the knob on top of it and balance it on there. And then I just let it sit overnight. Tomorrow, I'll come in and remove them. And there will be barrels glued in like this. And there will be some airspace in between the barrel and the edges of the glass. Then I will go in with a toothpick and sort of feed it in there. Now there is a two-part epoxy, the same brand, Loctite, that has like a needle on it that supposedly mixes and you can squirt it into tiny spaces like that. I have not invested in that product or tried it. I just saw it, but I just go in with a toothpick and do this on my own. So I'll pop on tomorrow and show you what that looks like. So these 3 are already glued up. I'm gonna go ahead and glue up these other ones because I've got you know, a bunch to do and some deliveries to get made. So I wanna get these done so I can get them shipped off. So if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Have a great evening, fusers.